have a candle business, but today's video is going to be great for anyone, okay? So just go ahead and get your drink, get some coffee, get you a protein shake, and just get a notebook or something. You just want to really kind of dive in really quickly. So this one is going to be not too long. So I want to just go over quick ways, ideas, and kind of like a little easy process for beginners or people who are really just getting into starting a business. If you basically, like, if you have an idea and it's something that's just been on your heart and you really want to start doing this side hustle, or maybe you want to transition from your 9 to 5 and really start this on the side, in hopes that it can become something major, then this is the video for you. Okay, so I just wrote down a few things. I've been an entrepreneur for 25, 30 years. I can't remember the last time that I had a real job, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad at this point, but long story, bio coming soon. But for this video, what we're going to do is just jump right in, okay? So when you're ready to start your side hustle, the first thing that you should do, I always start with brainstorming names for the business. You want to do a little bit of research there, okay? What is the business going to be about? And if you kind of know what that is, start writing down names and start kind of thinking about it. And then what will eventually happen is that names will kind of come to you. You'll see something, you'll like hear somebody say something, write all the names down that you're thinking of that you may want to name the business, and then research each one. You want to do a Google search for that business name. You want to go to your domain provider. So domain providers are like GoDaddy. They have a cheap domain. There are quite a few of them, but you could choose any one just to search for the business name that you're thinking of. So if you're thinking of naming your business icecubes.com, you want to see if that domain name is already taken. You could also check for trademarks for that name, and you can Google how to get to the trademark website. So I always like to start there and just basically see if the name that I'm thinking of is already taken, trademarked, if there's a copyright on that particular product or name or idea, any of that stuff. Once you get the clearance for that, I always suggest going ahead and securing the domain. The domains can be really cheap, especially for the first one. So you want to Google any kind of like discount code for the first sign up. And maybe it's a little cheaper if you just do 2 years or more at a time. But they're really affordable. So you've got your name, you've done the searching behind it. And the next thing you want to do, I don't recommend getting the LLC up front if you're not sure if the business is going to take off, if you're going to stick to it. A lot of times it's just kind of like a little hobby. You just want to kind of do it to bring in a little money on the side. And I mean that's great. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. But if the business, you've been in it for a while, you're bringing in money, you're committing to the process of taking care of the business and really growing it, definitely your next step is going to be to obtain an LLC certification for the business. All right, and this video is not going into all of that, but I'm just giving you the steps, and this gives you a platform where you can start, and then you can research all of these things. Okay, so if you know the business is doing well, you definitely want to make it an LLC. Google all of that information. After that, I suggest creating all of your social media sites. You want to make sure you have a page for every social media website. Create them, and they need to be, when you're creating all of your social media pages, make sure that they are all uniform and they speak to the same brand story. What is a brand story, you may ask? Good question. So stay around, hang around for the end of the video. I'm going to be talking about the brand story that's coming up in number 9 out of 11. And so right now we're on number 2 or 3. So just hang out and we're going to go over the brand story, because that is a really big part of your business, okay? And I think a lot of people kind of overlook that part when they're starting a business, and they just kind of break out and start the business with no direction. But this video will help you really start out on a with a good system, and you'll kind of have a projection to look forward to. All right, so we've gotten all of those things done. The next thing you want to do is grab your EIN number, okay? So that is, and you need that in order to open your business banking account, which is the next step. So once you're doing all of these things, you can basically, I recommend an online bank, only because they typically don't charge any monthly fees. And if you're a new business, that's the last thing you need, is like more fees, right? I use Novo Bank, Novo. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to check them out. And I really haven't had, I've been with them now for 5 years. It's just been really, really great. And the good thing about them is if you do a lot of banking with them for your business, eventually they will offer you one of their credit cards. I think it's probably 0 interest, I want to say, on the credit card. I'm not sure, but you'll be able to apply for one of their business banking cards, and they just invited me to do it. And I don't know a lot about that, but definitely look them up, check them out. I'll put all of that in the description for you. All right, so now we have our bank account set up. That is how you're going to utilize all of your funds going into the business and coming out of the business, because it's very important that you keep your personal account, business personal checking, and all of those transactions separate from your business transactions. So that's why you're going to have a separate bank account. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about once you have your business banking account set up is you're definitely going to get the bank in the name of your business. Okay, so basically you're going to sign up with all of that. You've done all of the other steps. Now you're going to figure out how you're going to make money. Literally, like, how are you going to sell products? Is this going to be something that you're going to be doing from your home? That all of that needs to be determined actually before you sign up for the bank account, because they're going to ask you for your business address. So if you don't have a local, you don't have a location, then you're just going to be home based. You then need to make sure you get a local business license in your city or your town. And you just basically go to your town's website, and you can just Google that to find out what you need to do to get a business license. They're pretty affordable, especially if you're a small business, you haven't made any money yet. A lot of them determine that based on what your projected income will be. Keep it really low because you're just starting out, and then that's just a piece of paper. They will send you a copy of that, but a lot of places will ask you for your business license when you're doing markets, if you get into wholesale, or if you're trying to do anything with the business. That is really important to have your EIN and your business license. Okay, all right, next, if you are working from home for the business, how are you taking money? You're going to need a website. All right, the next thing for the website, again, brand story. We're talking about that at the end, so don't leave. But the brand story should be, your website is going to be expounded or expanded there on the website. Okay, so we can go there and check out everything that you have. You may need to get a website designer, but I don't really recommend that on the first go unless you're just totally unable to kind of walk through it yourself. I have a Shopify store. Before that, with my first business, I think we did a Wix-based website because it wasn't e-commerce. We didn't really need that on there. But if you do have an e-commerce site where you're going to be selling things and you have merchandise on the website, Shopify has tons of free websites designs that you can utilize, and you can try them out. But so go to Shopify, create that free account. I think they give you a few days free to try the Shopify out. I'll link that below. And then every month there is a fee for your Shopify, just to utilize Shopify. Right now it's $39. All right, so you've got that. You can find people to design the website either through Shopify, Fiverr. There are lots of other design options where you can find website designers, and there are some things that you're going to look for there. And I'll be doing another video on all of those things later, so please check out my other videos in a little while. Okay. All right, now you got to figure out what you're going to be selling. Once you have that, you're going to have to figure out how you can obtain the products that you need at wholesale. If you have your EIN number, you're then going to need your reseller's permit. A reseller's permit, it may be called something different in different states, but basically that's basically kind of like a license that allows you to buy things at wholesale without having to pay sales tax. All right, because you're going to be taking sales tax from your customers, so it doesn't make sense for you to have to turn around and pay sales tax when you're buying the merchandise that you're then going to sell. Okay, so but you need those two things. You're probably going to need your EIN number, and you're going to need your reseller's permit in order to purchase products wholesale. There are tons of wholesale websites. You can find some if you're in the Atlanta area like I am. We do have a few wholesale spots that you can visit up on Beaufort Highway, but online, there are quite a few wholesale places. You can try fair.com. You can try, let's see, obviously out of the country, but with the tariffs and everything now, I'm not sure how feasible that would be for a new business, but the Temus of it all, the Alibaba, AliExpress, see what those are offering and see if they have your products. It just depends on what you're doing. But if you're making your own products, you don't need to worry about this component. You just need to worry about getting your product materials, sourcing them at wholesale. And then you would just go into the industry that you're looking into and see what the wholesale prices are looking like there. All right, and create an account. All right, now we can get to the brand story. We're almost done today, guys, so thank you for hanging out with me. If this video is really making, giving you some, I guess, some like really good thoughts and really just encouraging you to create a business, that is what I'm hoping to do. Entrepreneurship has been most of my adult life, and it was my father. My father was an entrepreneur as well as an educator. But I read a quote one time, and it said something like, entrepreneurship is not a choice. It's something in your DNA. It's like a DNA like flaw or something. It's like something you have to do. Either you're born with it or you're not. So if you have been led to, and you just feel this pull to start your own business, then this is just a good little primer. It's just really general, gives you something to go back and on those bullet points to go back and research, okay? But let's talk a little bit about the brand story before you guys go. Your brand story speaks to what and who and what you're giving to the world, okay? So your brand story, you should be able to create a synopsis of what and who, why you're there, and what your business is about in about 2 or 3 sentences, okay? So you want to be able to think about everything that you are creating within your business. So for example, if you are a pottery maker, so you do ceramics, and maybe all of your ceramics are like, maybe they are about plants, and they are, featuring ceramics with flowers or botanicals, on the ceramics, then your brand story would have to mention something about that. It would just expound on the fact that let's say, Sierra Ceramics is a handcrafted pottery business with an emphasis on botanicals and sourced from blah blah blah, and then we specialize in blah blah blah, and that's your brand story. If you're doing cosmetics, the same thing. We are a luxury cosmetics company focusing on ethnic skincare, with an emphasis on da 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 da, and we blah blah blah, what you believe in, who you are, why, but not a long drawn out thing, just maybe 2 or 3 sentences, and that's your blurb. So it's kind of like if McDonald's used to have a tagline. It's really kind of a tagline. So from your brand story, you're able to build out your business. So if that's your tagline, then from there, basically, we talk about your color palette. We talk about your fonts. That means what type of fonts you'll be using in your business cards, on all of your documents that you send out, all of your thank you cards, all of any of the stationery that you create for your business. It will speak to that same brand story. So sometimes it can be funky brand story. You might have an elegant aesthetic. You might have boho aesthetic. You could be like rugged hip hop. You might be in a fitness arena. So everything needs to speak to that. So if you're doing, let's just say, so for example, we just rebranded my candle business. So now we added the colors tan, a dark brown, kind of a pumpkin color, and then a lighter beige. And before we were just all in the neutral palette. Okay, so your graphic designer will create your brand story color palette for you. So whenever you're creating, your thank you cards, when you're buying your bags, your retail bags, designing all of that stuff, you have a brand palette that you pull from. You're not just going to go and get like, yellow and green when your color palette may be, blue and off-white, for example. You would have something to build upon. And then your fonts, same thing. Just like when you see those golden arches, if they change the golden arch shape to like some, Roman numeral M or something, a Roman letter, you would be like, that's not McDonald's, right? So that's what you want to create. It's something that is memorable and that speaks to your business, and it makes a statement. All right, so I'm going to be making another full video on brand story and how to create that pretty soon. But if you like this video, guys, I am still trying to get all of my viewership up. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all of those things for me. I would really appreciate it. And if you know what your brand story is, or if you have a business idea, don't give it all away. This is my final tip. If you have an idea, if you've been gifted with a business idea in your heart, keep it to yourself until you're ready to build it out. Not everybody can handle, your goals and your dreams. Sometimes people can't, you don't know who to trust. So you want to kind of safeguard that until it's built out and it's ready for the world to see. All right, and so you want to utilize your team, the people, the professionals that you're going to go to keep that, within your sphere. But sometimes even our own friends and family are not the ones that you need to be sharing things like starting a business with, because they may not be able to see your vision. So that vision is for you and you alone. All right, so if you think that you can do it and you can do it, then that's the reason you're going to be able to be successful. All right, so until next time, I'll see you later.